Yo, what's good YouTube? Zamcrow here, aka Scoop, back with the NNDL Nation Draft League Season 2 Majors, where we have made it to playoffs. I know my last upload wasn't the last, I think I missed the last 3 weeks, and week 6 actually. I'm going to drop I can't record all of that and then have it edited and cut and put out in a timely manner before season 3 starts. I don't think I can do that. I've slacked a little bit, and I had a 2-month hiatus, which put me behind on uploads, and I managed to get most of the World Showdown Series Season 5 out, maybe all of it, and I've gotten quite a bit of the NNDL Nation Draft League out as well. Some other leagues are starting up, and then I'm just trying to get everything up to date. So I'm going to drop the replays to week 6, week 11, 12, and 13 in the description, and how those battles turn out. I think I went 2-2 in those 4 battles. I think I lost week 6 and 13, and I won weeks 11 and 12 or something like that. Something along those lines. Anyways, we made it to playoffs as like the number 2 seed, despite like an 8-4 record or something, 8-5 record, 9-4, something like that. There was 13 battles, I think, maybe 8-5 or something like that. And we've made it to playoffs, where we're going to be facing off against he took over for A1, the Gainesville Gallades, Esh 1 2 3 4. I don't actually know his team name off the top of my head, but yeah, he took over for the Gainesville Gallades. We played him earlier in the season as a replacement coach already too. So we've played this team and this coach before as a duo. So yeah, we are familiar. We did win that game. However, it was very, very narrow, and it came with a Cabalion setting up and being in a position to win in the late game. So I don't think he'll fall for those tricks again. I've decided to not even bring the same exact month. But we'll talk about his entire roster for a second. So he's got Tornadus, Therian, Infernape, Togekiss, Mega Slowbro, Amoonguss, Crocodile, Registeel, Haxorus, Sharpedo, Ursaring, and the Audino, where his Z-move users are Togekiss and the Haxorus. And our team hasn't changed all season, I don't think, outside of when we first made our transactions to get our squad in the first place. We've got Manaphy, Mega Venusaur, Latios, Mimikyu, Cabalion, Donphan, Licky, Talonflame, Electros, and Sneasel, where our Z-move users are the Latios and the Talonflame. So that's going to be our squad, and the 6 we're bringing in this matchup is going to be the Mega Venusaur, as you see on screen, Mega Venusaur, Latios, Manaphy, Cabalion, Licky, and the Electros. Our Mega Venusaur is primarily defensive, but it does have a little bit of special defense investment and a little bit of special attack investment, which can help versus like Tornadus and Mega Slowbro a lot. Help versus those two a lot, and I guess it helps versus Crook and basically everything really, but it helps versus Crook, Togekiss, and Tornadus being a switch in a lot. And then got the Synthesis there for longevity and Leech Seed for annoyances. I don't think he brought the Amoonguss last time, but he does bring it this time. A little bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. Anyways, it does give me a Spore switch in to Amoonguss, which is really nice. Next up, we've got the Latios, which is the Groundium Z set. He has a few months he didn't bring, like I mentioned earlier. He didn't bring the Haxorus or the Sharpedo. He didn't bring the Infernape. So lots of months he didn't bring, but the Groundium Z would have been nice for the Registeel. That's what it was mainly there for, to catch that thing off guard. It was a nuisance in our last match. He decided to bring the Amoonguss over that this time. I guess expecting me to overcorrect myself. But yeah, we do have a Draco Meteor dropper here, and it has Thunderbolt for the Togekiss and the Tornadus, which is really nice. And then, like I mentioned, the Earthquake, Groundium Z for Registeel, and Roost for longevity. Can switch in on Slowbro, Can take knockoffs actually from Crook as long as it's not like Choice Band or Life Orb. We can handle that pretty well. Next up, we got a substitute Tail Glow Manaphy. This thing was poisoned last time by the Registeel, and I was in a position from like turn 1 to where Manaphy could have put in a lot of work had I not been poisoned. So I figured a substitute variant would be nice this time with Tail Glow and Surf and Ice Beam. It's basically got all the coverage I need outside of hitting Slowbro super effectively, but it's not realistically doing much back to me. It might break my sub, but you know, +3 Tail Glows, or excuse me, +3 Surfs are doing a lot, especially after rocks and any kind of prior damage is really nice too. And the fact that he will Mega Evolve and lose his Regenerator ability, which is really nice. So next up, we've got a Cobalion, which is a Choppleberry variant, a lot different than our last encounter with this squad. We've got the Choppleberry for the Ursaring. It's a huge threat. It's also pretty cool for a few of his other mons, including Infernape, a speed type with Infernape, which he didn't bring. But we did have the close combat Iron Head, which is just dual stab for this thing, and then Stealth Rock and Toxic. Toxic for the Slowbro, the Crook, the Togekiss, so on and so forth, and even the Tornadus. It's really nice for that. We've got a mixed defense Licky here. We have 104 EVs in HP, 148 EVs in defense, and 252 EVs in special defense, with a relaxed nature, which boosts your defense and lowers your speed. So this thing is really fat. It can take on most of his team outside of Infernape, and packs the Earthquake and the Ice Beam to hit the Registeel, and the Ice Beam to hit the Tornadus and the Crocodile, which is really nice, and the Togekiss. Not like it's going to 1v1 it or anything, probably get Thunder Wave flinched down and stuff like that, but we've got the Wish and the Protect there. It's really nice for longevity. You can pass wishes into Venusaur and our last Pokemon, the Electros, which we've decided to bring once again. It's a phenomenal Tornadus Therian check, and this time we actually bypassed on the Assault Vest, and we picked up the leftovers, and we have a Toxic U-turn variant with Discharge and Super Fang. Basically, we can Toxic anything on a squad and Super Fang them down. Discharge doesn't actually, it bounces off of Mega Slowbro. Discharge bounces off of Mega Slowbro. That's insane. Does quite a bit to Tornadus though, but it's really nice to have the Toxic and the U-turn. I can pivot out and stuff like that. And then the Crocodile also gives me a electric, gives me a ground immunity in my electric type, which is really nice. And Super Fang's really cool for things like Amoonguss. If I was to paralyze it with Discharge and then Super Fang it and weaken it down a little bit, and then like Hard Switch in my Lottie or Hard Switch in Mega Venusaur or something like that, and then try to weaken it or pick it off, that could be cool. Also, like I mentioned, I have U-turn, so I can catch momentum when I go into things like Lottie and drop a Draco, or even throw off my ground EMZ or something like that. This theme's really bulky and has like a lot of longevity. Last time I think he was able to combat me really well, and I think this time the difference in my squad will make a whole lot of a difference in the match as well. So with that being said, we can go ahead and look at team preview, and his only rocker is Crocodile, and that's his only hazards at all. So I felt like he might lead with it. He might not though, because I don't have anything that's necessarily weak to rocks, and I have a Cobalion, which is my only rocker, which I could potentially lead with, and it be a solid lead versus him. So yeah, expecting him to lead off with either the Slowbro or the Tornadus, because they match up well against my Cobalion. I guess he could have led with Amoonguss too. I'm going to decide to lead off with my Electros here, and I can throw off a Discharge, or I can just U-turn out. I can throw off a Toxic as well. He goes out into his Amoonguss, as I do throw off a Toxic, which is a little bit unfortunate, but not too much I could have done there. I guess I could have thrown off a Discharge and potentially got a Para, but yeah, I'm just going to go out into Mega Venusaur off of the U-turn, as he goes for the Toxic himself, and then Hard Switches in the Togekiss versus my Mega Venusaur, as I throw off a Leech Seed, which was really nice. I don't want him Thunder Waving me, so I'm going to go out to my Electros, and I'm able to just U-turn out at this point. He doesn't have counter measurements, so I'm actually just going to throw off a Toxic in case he wanted to stay in or go to the Mega Slowbro. But he goes into the Ursaring. It's poisoned and he sets up a substitute. So the sub and the toxic's going to wear him down quite a bit. I can set up my rocks here because I know I can take a close combat, and I will enable. Excuse me. And on the following turn, I will be able to outpace him and break his sub anyway. So I will come out of this exchange with my rocks up and him having no substitute up. So I have rocks and him having no sub up, which is really, really nice. I can come in with Manaphy here, just click surf to revenge kill him. Don't want him getting any damage off versus me. And here I could sub, predicting Spore or something, but I just hard switch into Mega Venusaur. Had I clicked sub there and he brought the Togekiss in, the next play is to set up a Tail Glove. Unfortunately, I switched out there instead of scouting for Spore, and yeah, he's able to bring his Togekiss in. Now he can Roost as I hard switch into my Electros, and now I can just U-turn out. See, now Volt Switch could have been a thing, but he did have the Crook. Again, I just throw off a Toxic. It covers the plays of him staying in, because I can't just like U-turn out and then put myself in a position where I have to bring right back in my Electros. So yeah, I'm able to bring in Mega Venusaur. He brings in his Amoonguss on my Sludge Bomb, and then I'm going to throw off a Leech Seed predicting his switch, and I get it right as he brings in the Tornadus, but he U-turns out and takes a Life Orb recoil. So I know he's a Life Orb variant now, and he's able to U-turn out into Crook. However, he doesn't reveal Pursuit, so I'm able to easily hard switch into my Mega Venusaur here. That did quite a bit, but that's because it was a critical hit. It would not do that much normally, and what I can do here is just Synthesis up once again, get back to a reasonable amount of health, and I go out into my Licky hard here because I figured he would just U-turning in and gain momentum on my Electros. So I actually make a misplay there, and he's able to get a big Hurricane off, but he hard switches into Slowbro, as I'm just going to throw off a Wish here. He can't, there's no way he can knock me out or 2-hit KO me. So I'm able to throw off a Wish there, and can throw off a Protect here to regain my Wish as he brings in his Togekiss. He takes Stealth Rock damage, so that's really nice for me. But he reveals Thunder Wave once again, as yeah, I just protect scouting for that, and now he actually goes for the Aura Sphere, predicted me to switch out into my Electros. As I get that right, and now I am going to go out to my Electros. I don't want Thunder Waved, and I get that one right too. So really nice plays there. Nice series of events just happened for me. Was able to get all of those plays right and then throw off a Discharge here. I don't get a Para, but that's okay. I don't necessarily need it. I can just U-turn out here, go into my Mega Venusaur, as it'll bounce off whatever he does. Hidden Power Fire, Sludge Bomb, Seed Bomb, whatever it is he wants to go for. Spore also bounces off. Stomping Tantrum bounces off as well, as you can see there. And my Sludge Bombs are doing quite a bit to him. He hard switches in his Tornadus Therian here. Fortunately, I do not get a Poison. I would have hated for that to ruin such a decent game so far. He goes for the Hurricane here. That would have bounced too, so I'm not going to necessarily be upset about that. But I guess U-turn in conjunction with Hurricane damage would have been really nice throughout the game. Anyways, I'm going to always be able to bring out my Mega Venusaur versus this Amoonguss. He goes into his Togekiss as I throw off a Sludge Bomb, and I get the Poison here, and it's going to knock him out. So basically what would have happened here was he would have either roosted on my switch out to Electros, he would have clicked Aura Sphere on my switch out to Electros, or he would have click Thunder Wave on my switch out to Electros, all of which would have been fine by me, and then I could just U-turn out or click Discharge depending. So I don't necessarily think that Sludge Bomb was game changing or critical at all, even though it wasn't a critical hit. I'll say that. Anyways, this Psychic does so much damage after my Giga Drain misses out barely on the knockout there, and I'm going to be able to hard switch out into my Licky once again here. He can go for the Hurricane again if he wants. I can just protect on the following turn, as he's just going to hard switch out into his Amoonguss, not wanting to take the extra Life Orb recoil yet. It will knock him out, but yeah, getting his regen there is really nice for him. He's lucky I don't attack here. I could have clicked Ice Beam versus his Amoonguss, but I think he's trying to get some regenerator health back there and just trying to get some plays right. And hoping for maybe a confusion or something of the sorts. But yeah, I can just wish and protect, wish, protect, wish, protect. I think Licky Licky has it in the bag at this point. I do have Ice Beam, so I can 1v1 the Crook, the Torn, and potentially even the Amoonguss, depending on its set. He does go for the knockoff here, which is a little bit problematic. And I make a fine play, though. Just clicking Wish, getting my health back after the knockoff, since I won't have leftovers recovery for a minute. And then the toxic damage will be able to knock him out, as he has to bring in his Tornadus here. And we can just click Ice Beam at this point. Or we could click Wish into Ice Beam so that we always get a Wish back, but his Hurricane could potentially 2-hit KO us, and he got the Confusion, so that wouldn't have been too good of a play there. I do hit myself in Confusion, so he's going to be able to knock me out here with his Seed Bombs, able to put me in a pretty tough position. But I'm going to be able to throw off a Sludge Bomb here. I know he can't even, he can't knock me out from that range, and I'll get my Wish back. So I'll just throw off a Sludge Bomb here, try to speed up the game as fast as possible. I should be able to 1v1 this thing with Mega Venusaur. Sludge Bomb should do the trick, especially since I have Synthesis and he hasn't revealed it yet. He may have it, he just hasn't revealed it yet. He doesn't reveal it there, and we're going to be able to go ahead and throw off this last Sludge Bomb and pick up a victory here. A nice 4-0 victory here. 51 turns really doesn't necessarily show how close the game was. There was a lot of switching going on there. Ursaring behind the sub was pretty scary, and then Amoonguss was really, really annoying. Tornadus pressured my squad the whole time. So yeah, really, really fun squad. Nice 51 turns, and we got a nice 4-0 victory here in the quarterfinals. So yeah, that's going to be that, and we can move on to the semifinals now. Alright, so in the semifinals, we're facing off against Predator 30. I don't remember if he was actually our first or second match. I think he was our second match in the league, and I think I put emphasis on it in our week 2 battle that we uploaded, that he was a solidified Smogon player, OU, and that I was super excited to face off against, one of the ladder heroes. And it's always nice, to have one of the a draft player take on a Smogon player and see how both players, how their minds work, and so on and so forth. And the first match was really good, and I expect the second match to be just as good. I felt this match was a whole lot harder for me to prep for. I felt like I had to find different ways to win than the way I won last time, because how can I word this? But it's really hard to word. I just think if you win the first match and you have a rematch, I think it's really tough to find a second way to defeat the same team. Anyways, my opponent has the same exact squad, I'm pretty sure. Mega Charizard X, Tapu Fini, Ferrothorn, Porygon 2, Gligar, Feraligatr, Butterfree, Weavile, Honchkrow, and Swampert. Got that double Eviolite core there. And then he's got Z Butterfree and Z Weavile. And our squad hadn't changed, like I mentioned. We've got Mega Venusaur, Latios, Manaphy, Mimikyu, Cobalion, Donphan, Licky Licky, Talonflame, Electros, and Sneasel, where our Z-move user is the Latios and the Talonflame. So yeah, really fun squad. My opponent has, looking at team preview, he has Ferrothorn and Swampert, which could be potential Stealth Rockers. I guess Gligar could be as well. He has a severe fighting weakness outside of Gligar, like once Gligar is weakened or beat down. Cobalion could really put in the work. Last time I caught his Weavile off guard with a Choppleberry Cobalion, but I actually clicked Iron Head and it had enough bulk to live. This time I would always click Close Combat, so that's something to know. Close Combat knocks out 3 of his 6 Pokemon, which is really nice. So Cobalion looks pretty sweet in this matchup. I guess we can talk about my squad for a minute. We've got a Giga Drain knockoff Hidden Power Fire Synthesis variant with mixed defense and max HP, but just a little bit of special attack investment with a quiet nature, because we do have a Trick Room team, as you're going to see in a minute. We have a quiet nature which boosts your special attack and lowers your speed, IVs and whatnot, or not your IVs, but your just your points. And I guess if you run a 0 speed IVs, then yeah, your IVs too. Anyways, we've got a Rindoberry Manaphy. Last time he brought a Akaberry Ferrothorn, and my Hidden Power Fire at +3 was just unable to knock him out, and he caught us off guard and knocked us out with a Power Whip. This time we have the Rindoberry, so that if we pop an Akaberry, we're going to live the Power Whip and then knock him out with the following Hidden Power Fire. Tail Glow, Surf, Energy Ball, and like I mentioned, the Hidden Power Fire. We have max speed, so that we can speed tie with a potential max speed Charizard. Quite a bit of special attack investment, but a little bit of defense too, so that we can better take on Weavile, which is a huge threat. Next up, we have a Trick Room, Brave Natured Mimikyu, max attack, max HP with the Disguise and the Pixie Plate. This thing is a Swords Dance variant with Play Rough. So if I can get a Trick Room up with my Disguise intact and get a Swords Dance up with my Disguise intact, that could be very, very problematic for my team once Ferrothorn's beat down. However, if Ferrothorn's got any kind of HP, that's the idea of the Manaphy, is to lure in the Ferrothorn, get rid of that, and then I've got the Mimikyu to wreak havoc. With Shadow Sneak, Play Rough, and the Trick Room should do the job. And then the Pixie Plate boosting Play Rough is really, really nice. So next up we've got Cobalion, which is a Sugarberry variant. Quite defensive, and quite a bit of bulk investment, but we're quite speedy too, being able to outpace a Charizard. And then we've got Stealth Rock, because Charizard is very, very pressured by said move. And then we've got Close Combat, like I mentioned, it rips through half of his team. And then we've got the Iron Head, which is really nice for the Tapu Fini, which he didn't bring. But yeah, that's what that would be there for. And I guess it hits the Gligar better than Close Combat does, obviously. Taunt is really nice because I can prevent his Stealth Rockers from clicking Stealth Rock. And I can prevent Porygon 2 and Gligar from roosting and recovering up. And I can prevent Gligar from defogging as well, so that Charizard's more pressured. I can prevent rocks from Swampert also. Next up, we've got along with our Pixie Plate Mimikyu, we've got an Earth Plate Donphan, which is Brave Natured, max attack, max HP, with Earthquake, Stone Edge, Knockoff, and Rapid Spin. This thing's actually really solid once Gligar is gone and Swampert and Ferrothorn are weakened. I guess Porygon too. His team's just so fat that I need things to be weakened before this Trick Room thing can go on. And then next up we've got Licky Licky, which is a Protect, Knockoff, Dragon Tail, Wish variant. Quite defensive, but just a little bit of Spadef as well. And then has the Dragon Tail there so that the Charizard can't use me as setup fodder. If I was a Will-O-Wisp set, if I was an Earthquake set and he was a Will-O-Wisp set, he could infinitely wall me. However, with Dragon Tail, I at least Dragon Tail him out unless he's like Will-O-Wisp and sub, and then Dragon Tail doesn't break his sub. But yeah, looking at his match, he has 3 potential Stealth Rockers, so I wanted to lead with something that could potentially handle all 3 of them. And he is going to lead with one of them, Gligar. And I wanted to be able to taunt any of his Stealth Rockers. I do have a Sugarberry, so Gligar and Swampert wasn't the end of the world for me. And I can just taunt him here and see what he wants to go for. And he may click rocks, he may just click Earthquake. He does click Earthquake there, and we're able to get our rocks up on the following turn as Earthquake just bounces off, doesn't even do 40%. Cobalion is a fat boy. And we go for the Iron Head here as he goes out into the Swampert. Now, we can taunt here, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Unfortunately, he goes straight for the Earthquake, so a Close Combat would have been really, really, really nice there. Really nice. Anyways, we go out into Venusaur. Easy check there to the Swampert, and we click the Knockoff as he switches out into the Gligar. We get rid of that thing's item, which is really nice, and the Giga Drain almost knocks him out, leaves him at just below 30% there. And unfortunately, we're not packing the Sludge Bomb. Super duper unfortunate, because this Charizard is a problem. So what we're going to do is go hard into our Donphan and then just click the Earth Plate boosted Earthquake, which does quite a bit to the Swampert. So if I can just keep continuously getting in the Donphan as he goes for the Dragon Dance and I scare him out, then I'll be in an okay position. But now he's got his rocks up too, which makes things even worse for Donphan, Licky, so on and so forth. I felt he would attack this turn, so I did go into my Licky, and I can just throw off a Wish or a Dragon Tail here. And I'm going to throw off a Dragon Tail in case he wanted to go for the Dragon Dance. However, he roosts all the way to full and puts me at a little bit of a problematic situation here. I can just click Wish though, as he clicks Earthquake, and now he's going to hard switch out into his Gligar. and I click knockoff, but it does nothing because his item is already gone, and that thing's a bulky boy. I'm going to hard switch out into my Manaphy and start applying some offensive pressure now. I'm going to go straight for the Tail Glow, and now I'm going to reveal Hidden Power Fire once again, as he reveals the Aqua Berry once again, but I reveal the Rendo Berry this time, and we're going to be able to 2-hit KO him here. So the Ferrothorn's gone, things look better for Mimikyu, and he goes for the knockoff here, and that's choice banned. That has to be choice banned because he had to be choice banned with a high roll there to knock me out, and it worked out for him. And I double out into my Donphan here, hoping that he went into his Charizard, but he doesn't, and I'm able to rapid spin these rocks away, get my Mega Venusaur back in. Unfortunately, I think he's able to get his rocks back up. And yeah, it's such a long match. Like, Porygon 2, Ferrothorn, Swampert, and Gligar is just a really hard quarter break. Like, he's got 3-4 times weaknesses there, and then Porygon 2 and Gligar are both Eviolite Mons. Just so bulky and hard to break. And I know I'm rambling while the battle goes on, but I kind of have to. It's just turn by turn would be. It's not like a 200 turn battle or anything. It's just the thought process behind each turn. It's pretty self-explanatory at this point. I've got to get Donphan. If I can get Charizard going, I'll be in an okay position too. If I can get Mimikyu in, I'll be in a pretty solid position. If I can get Rocks gone, a Trick Room up, and Mimikyu, like right now, if I had a Swords Dance up and was able to somehow set up a Trick Room, Mimikyu could start putting in the work. His Porygon 2 does reveal later in the match to have Foul Play, so I guess if he went straight to his Porygon and my Disguise was already broken, I guess Foul Play would knock me out. Dang, yeah, this was a tough matchup. What I really regretted was not bringing the exact same team I brought last time. It was just so efficient versus him, and would have worked really well in this matchup too. Last time I was able to beat him with a bulk up Talonflame, as he had as his counter was Foul Play Porygon 2, which with my defense boosters from the bulk up, the Foul Plays weren't doing as much as it would if I was a Swords Dance variant. And here I'm able to go back into my Donphan. However, he still got the Gligar. I wasn't able to ever knock this thing out, and it's just been a problem ever since. And the fact that I can't knock it out means Donphan has a hard time. I go for the Stone Edge there as he brings in the Swampert, so that was a little bit unfortunate. And I went for Earthquake there and got a little bit of chip. That would have been really nice. But yeah, this Charizard's proven to be a huge nuisance to the squad. With Roost and Mega Venusaur not having Sludge Bomb, it's just such an issue. My opponent's playing super duper safe too, safer than he should be, and it's causing the game to be drug out a little bit longer than it should be. At this point, I'm defeated outside of Mimikyu's Miracle, but I never give up hope on Mimikyu's Miracle. Alliteration is good sometimes. So let's go for it right here. He U-turns out and breaks my Disguise. I'm going to go straight for the Swords Dance. And now my play is to Swords Dance again. But he reveals Foul Play. I did not expect him to have Foul Play. Again, I just felt like it didn't work last time. It gives Cobalion a boost. Mega Venusaur and Manaphy are basically unaffected. I guess I can see why though at the same time. But finally his Charizard comes in, gets up a Dragon Dance, and he should be able to knock me out here with a Flare Blitz. He drug the battle out so long, like it was over at like turn 38 or so, and he dragged the battle out so long that I forfeited at the end of the match to deny him the Charizard kill. I mean, it still gets it statistically, but that satisfaction of getting a knockout with Charizard at the end of the match is taken away. Nothing personal. I just wanted to prove a point. Not like intentionally being a dickhead, but proving a point. Like the battle was over, so it should have been finished a while back. But yeah, good game to Predator. He gets a nice 5-0 victory here, and we'll move on to the finals where he's facing off against our boy Andy in the St. Louis Carbines. So shout out for that. I'm actually going to leave a link to the video of the finals, which has already happened. Our champion, our season 2 champion, is already crowned. I'll leave Andy's point of view down in the description so that you guys can go check that out right now. Go check it out because I'm about to spoil it. Alright, so by now you've went and watched Andy's video and you're back, and you know that Predator defeated Andy in the finals and went on to win the season 2 majors title, and he will be returning for season 3, I do believe, to defend his title. I did mention, I didn't mention on my channel yet, but I did mention in the server that I may be returning for season 3, and I'm hoping to be able to do that still at this point. At the beginning of December, I think the season starts sometimes in January or something like that. Anyways, that's going to be it. Let me know what you thought about the battle. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, all the good stuff. You can also leave comments on Andy's video and hear about his battle as well. And let me know your thoughts on the finals, because it was fun to watch. But yeah, that's going to be it. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, all the good stuff, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.